Hello, guys, and welcome to another amazing episode of the AfriProsperity series. If you are just joining for the first time, you're welcome, and if you're a returning audience, you're also welcome. My name is Adesina for those of you just joining for the first time, and I'm so happy to have you here. This is a weekly session where we talk about everything finance, investing, economy, especially as it relates to investing for AfriProsperity. Which is our mission statement here at Adesina Assets. So once again, you're welcome. And today, we have something very, very exciting to discuss, something I've been meaning to actually share, not even just share, to deliberate on. I think that's the word, because I get your feedbacks all the time, or let me say we get your feedbacks all the time from all of our content and all of our live sessions, basically everything we share. And so this is more like a deliberation, not just me sharing things with you, because your feedback is actually very, very important to us. Few episodes before now, we've had a lot of topics to discuss, from personal finance to business finance to real estate investing to investing in stocks, just investing generally, and how our investment principles, ideologies, strategies actually contribute to our goals, our wealth creation goals. And I could remember one of the sessions I said something like, a lot of people are investing, but not creating wealth. That means so many people are actually investing, but they are not creating wealth. And it could be dicey, because everybody's telling you that the only way to be wealthy is to invest. So how come you are telling me that I can be investing and not creating wealth? Because a lot of people now have a lot of definitions for investing. And to be honest, I think they were sold that definition. Someone taught them wrongly, right? That's why you see people investing without a central purpose, people investing without a central agenda. In fact, a lot of people are now investing as a shortcut to actually making money. They hear that, oh, if you buy these shares, you see something like, if you have gotten these shares at this particular time, by now this is how much you would have gotten. And then the person just rushed into getting, one share or the other. Or you hear a testimony that I got a land for this amount of money in this year, and now I sold it for this amount of money, and then a lot of people just rush to go and buy a piece of property just anywhere. So these are the issues. These are really the issues. People now invest with the sole aim of just making some quick bucks, with just flipping, right? It's more or less like gambling. It's the same way they sell gambling to you in the advert, right? You see something like, they try to sell the possibilities, which is not bad in itself. It's just that when the possibilities are not calculated, then it becomes gambling. And this is what we are here to talk about this evening, because our goal at Adesina Assets is not just so that you can say, I have this asset. It's actually so that you can, by yourself, take conscious decisions, right, in selecting all your assets, in all your investment choices, that you can coordinate them together to actually build wealth for yourself. And building wealth even sounds vague, right? Simply building a portfolio of assets that is a collection of assets that can be giving you passive income to fuel your lifestyle. For example, you have real estate, you have businesses that you've invested in, that you've owned, that at the latter part of your life, they can fund whatever lifestyle you want to live without you having to work for money. One of the most exciting things I've seen this week was when Elumelu posted that Anthony Joshua came to visit him in his Monaco home. And it was exciting for me, because if I'm not mistaken, that's like, that I have seen, maybe probably the 5th home, not in Monaco, in Dubai, in London, in Monaco now, in several other places, right? This is not to tell you that, you just go and buy a house somewhere, because you don't know whether he is investing from overflow, right, in all those homes that he now have, that he now has. So you need to take this thing a step at a time. One of the things I love that people are now getting to understand, or people are now getting to share, is that when we talk about diversification, it's not about me kicking off right now diversified. Now, that's not it. It's actually more of an overview of a portfolio over time. So, for example, check everybody who got rich. They probably got rich from just one particular thing. Then from the overflow of the cash flow from that particular thing, they now started to invest in multiple things. But right now, everybody wants to get rich from multiple streams of income. I think it's wrongly thought. It's wrongly thought. Right? So these are the things we like to discuss on this weekly live session, which is the AfriProsperity series, such that you watch, you learn, and then you can actually make conscious decisions. Not just because Adesina said so, or someone else says so, but because you've analyzed it yourself. You have the knowledge it takes to actually analyze every investment choices by yourself and actually know, okay, this is a good deal or this is a bad deal. And even when it looked as if it's a good deal and you end up making it and then it turned bad, you're not looking for who to blame. You can take responsibility, right? Because investment involves risk, which sometimes can include loss of capital or principal, right? Which is why you would often hear, people say, get a financial advisor, get a this, get a that. In this age and time where everybody is now even a wealth advisor, you need to be even more careful. And this is where you need to invest more in your own wealth intelligence. Don't rely on someone else's recommendations, right? Invest in your own wealth intelligence. You go after the knowledge, right? I get it. You are a medical person, right? You've given your life to study about the medical profession. And you are still looking to probably even doing more discoveries, growing your name, doing something remarkable, groundbreaking in the medical space, which is awesome. And I mean, you don't even have to probably invest in something, in a third-party venture for you to be rich, right? Your career could be paying you well. Now you're asking, but I also want to invest for passive income. I don't want to work all my life. I want to retire at a point in time. What do you advise, additional? Honestly, find something you are interested in. Be open to people sharing ideas with you, because this is what will lead me to what I'm about to discuss. Be open to people sharing ideas with you, not investment vehicles. Ideas. Be open to people sharing opportunities with you, right? And now you find something that is exciting to you. That there was a day I made a post. Let me read it out. I think it will do us a lot of good. A minute, please. Let me read that out. I said, if we all decide to only invest in things we find interesting, things we are excited to read, study, and talk about, things you are excited to make forecast on and watch perform, instead of trying to force our way into some fantasy fortune, I said we will be less confused, we will gamble less, we will take more responsibility, and more importantly, we will live a more fulfilling life. Right? When you truly want to invest and you look out for example, instead of just trying to just invest in any real estate, why don't you look at, is there an area that needs multi-family apartments? An area that needs middle income apartments that you are passionate about, just you are interested in it. Okay, this area obviously has a deficit here. What can be done? What kind of housing can we provide here? Then you have the capital from your profession. And like, you know what? Let's provide this housing here. Okay, you partner with a developer or a construction firm, and you make a deal. Let's provide this housing that is needed. And you are so interested in it. You follow through the whole process. You are excited to talk about it to any other investors that want to join you. You would see that it's a more fulfilling process instead of just trying to make money just from any real estate deal. Right? This is the difference. This is the difference. I'm not saying something you are passionate about or something like that. I get there is a lot of questions around that. But I'm just saying something that you are interested in. You are excited to read about it. You want to invest in a business. Is it because the chart is showing that it's going to go up, or because you're actually interested in the business as a whole? You see that the business as a whole is actually progressive, and you believe in the future of that business enough to put your own resources into it. When we invest like this, we will invest in a more fulfilling way. It won't just be about the money or the returns, but the fact that we are contributing to value creation. And the law of value is that whenever value is dished out, value must come back in return. It's a law. It's a law. So when we focus more on finding, a venture that offers value that we are excited about, that we are interested in, to invest in, to contribute to. So I think we need to probably start changing the word investment to contribution. That, okay, let's look at, what's happening in this particular axis, in this particular, period of time, and what people need, what is lacking, and what venture is actually solving that problem, filling that gap, meeting that demand. And you look at that value that is being offered, and you look at it and ask yourself, how can I contribute to the value that is being created? How can I make this value progressive? How can I make the venture that is offering that value, create it in a better way or in a bigger way? When we look at it like that, you will know that, okay, I'm contributing to a value that is being created or that is being offered. Definitely, I would get value back in return. The value you get back in return is what we now call the return on investment. Because we all need to understand that investment is not independent of value creation. It's more like a back end and front end. The front end is value creation, the back end is investment. Without the value you are offering to the people, to the market, there's no promise of return. There's no promise of return. So this leads me to the topic of today, right, which is how to leverage market potential for wealth creation. How do we leverage market potential for wealth creation? Right? And basically, what's potential? What does potential mean? It means having or showing in the capacity to develop into something in the future. Having or showing the capacity to develop into something in the future. Meaning you are looking at a particular venture, you are looking at a particular market, you are looking at a particular, space or sector, and you know that there is a particular potential here. There is something that can come out of this thing. Right, just like I was discussing with people recently, and I said, in the last 2 decades, banking is not what we now know it to be. But someone like Jimovia could see that the future of banking would be digital. Right? In the next 2 decades, the banking as we know it to be today would have changed tremendously. So if you want to be one of the movers and shakers in the banking industry in the next 20 years, now is the time to start owning the banks that you believe as future. It's not then that you now start trying to get 100,000 naira worth of shares there or 1 million naira worth of shares there. You can't build wealth thinking like an average middle class person. Sorry to say. They're two different things. And don't get me wrong, there's a difference between making money and building wealth. That's one of the things I really want to say. There's a big difference between making money and building wealth. Anybody can make money. Anybody can buy a particular share and sell it for a profit and they've made money. Anybody can buy a property and sell it for profits and they've made money. Anybody can do any business and they've made money. But how many people can actually build wealth with businesses? By investing in businesses. How many people can actually build wealth by investing in real estate? They're two different things. The people that really build wealth, long-term fortune, through investment, are the people who actually could see potential in something and could actually contribute to it with their resources for long term. And most likely when people don't actually think that thing has a future. Most likely. Do you know how many people would have seen Tony Elumelu when he was starting banking and would have looked at him, in a way that you guys are just wasting your time. There's no future here. They might not even say it out. Probably some even said it out. There's a story he even loves to share about how he submitted his CV for a job, even when he knew that it was below the qualifications that they were, advertising for. Probably someone would have looked at him and said in his or her heart that you're just wasting your time. But he still did it. Right? So when we talked about looking at market potential to create wealth, it means that you could see something the way it is now, and you could tell what this thing can be or has the potential to be in the next 2 decades, 3 decades. Because that's actually when you can now know In fact, that's what will differentiate you from every other gamblers in the market. That's it. That is the singular differentiator from every other gamblers in the market. That you can see something that just a few people, nobody can even see it. You can see it and you are like, this thing has the potential to get to this level. You know, if you're an employer of labor, you will know what I'm talking about to an extent, where you can actually see a staff and everybody is looking at the person, you know, in a way that I'm not sure this person can deliver, but you just can see that probably this person is teachable. Probably this person is open to learning. And that singular factor alone just communicates to you that if I can take risk on this person for the next 3 months, 6 months, I'm sure this person can amount to something huge. The same thing with opportunities. How many of us met our partners at a point, at a time where they didn't really look like what they are today? But you could see maybe just 1 or 2 things. Oh, he doesn't have money, but he reads a lot. He learns a lot. And he doesn't just learn, he actually tries to apply what he learned. If he continues with this habit, I believe he has potential. And you just take a risk on him. Let me give him a yes. Or you see the girl, she doesn't really look like she knows what she's doing. But when you tell her, try this, she's open to try. Try that, she's open to try. And just with those 2 traits, just 1 trait, you can tell that if she can just be this open to learning, then she would allow me actually point her in the right direction. And just because of that, you would say, will you marry me? And then 20 years after, the person you saw potential that probably your parents was even doubting you, now became the person that the whole world is now using as a point of contact that, oh, one day I'm going to marry a man like this. But you don't have to tell them that when I saw him, he wasn't looking like this. When I saw her, she looked nothing like this. The same thing with investment opportunities. They oftentimes don't look like the big deals they end up becoming. You just have to find that differentiating factor that you would see that will tell you this is the potential right there. And guess what? You are not going to be right all the time. How many people have seen potential in a particular guy or a particular girl that end up serving them breakfast? You would not always be right. But the resilience to say, okay, I was not right at that one, I'm going to try again. If you say, okay, I'm not right, it broke my heart, I'm not going to do this, and then you're not going to get married. You're not. But to say, okay, this person misbehaved, but I'm still going to try again. You see another potential, you gave it a try. Then you end up getting married to your spouse. The same thing with investment potential. I've done food business, didn't get anywhere. Clothing business, didn't get anywhere. Digital agency, I owed salaries. You know, just a lot. Fresh out of school, I got a shop from, one of my aunts, shop at Bodija in Ibadan, in the center of Bodija market. Took about 2 business partners, brought their machines, we were open for business, and then we were launching collections. At the end of the day, the 2 were at loggerheads, a lot of misunderstanding, and the business crashed. Guess what? Currently, I'm still looking at a particular fashion business to invest in. You just have to be someone who can identify that sign of potential. That with this element, if I can just contribute my resources, my value to this thing, it would actually do something. It will do something. And let me start by saying this. If you've seen this documentary, The Men Who Built America, a man made a statement in that particular documentary that has, lingered with me, that stayed with me ever since. A man made a statement that has stayed with me ever since. And the statement was, there's something common with all these people. Henry Ford, JP Morgan, Rockefeller, Carnegie, all those guys. He said there's just one thing that you can almost find in all of them. And he said it's a belief. That they just believe that put me in charge, I'll solve the problems. He said they have a particular sense of vision. That even when everybody's complaining, everybody doesn't have that, nobody has direction, everything is upside down, they just can see a potential in a particular thing. And they will just fight to get in charge because they believe that once I get in charge, I'll solve it. And let's bring it back home. Take a look at the Dangotes, the Elumelus, the Rabius, the Otedolas, the Adenugas, the Inyaboyejis, right? The Patricias, right? Take a look at the likes of, what's this guy's name? Of Tribe Agric, of Farm Crowdy, of Shortlers, right? There's a woman I love so much, of Money Africa, right? You can see these guys literally championed a particular sector when it looks absolutely, when nothing looks like it. And you could just see that this mindset, this ideology, it's visible, it's obvious in them too. That they just believe that if I can just do something about this thing, I'll solve this problem. I'll solve this problem. If I can just get in charge, I'll solve this problem. Many of them have heard countless of no's. They've had countless no's. They've had discouragement. But there's just this resilience that there's something I'm seeing that I just cannot give up on. Just like myself also. There's just something I see about AfriProsperity that I will just always continue to talk about it, see how I can invest towards it, because I just know that the potential is there. The potential is there. Regardless of the challenges, regardless of the mistakes I even make. Not even the challenges in the market now, the mistake from probably the gap in the knowledge I have. Right? But when we actually think like this, we would start to pay closer attention to the things we complain about. You're complaining about power. Can you look closer? Is there a potential there? Could there be potential in the solar industry? Could there be potential? Oh, you're complaining about infrastructure, but you work in construction. Are you not looking any closer? Could there be potential there? Is there something you can do? Is there something that someone is already doing that you can contribute to? Can we just think in this manner? Right? The same thing when it comes to real estate, it's almost, whenever I look at what we are doing with real estate, right? This is the way I describe it. That we are building our dream Nigeria, literally. For example, our Adesina Park 1, it's designed for young professionals and, just probably young professionals that are new couples and just young professionals, young working class people, either married with a kid or newly married, just in that space. Young professionals. And we just want to create an environment that helps them to thrive with ease. With ease. And we look at the area, it was actually from one of my personal experience. Living in an estate that was supposed to be, an enabling environment. But power is a problem. At a point, water is a problem. Security, a problem. A lot of amenities that could aid, you to actually thrive, a problem. So we look at it, okay, what are the things that could actually aid young professionals, that their home could be an asset, can actually be a contributor to whatever it is they are trying to achieve in their lives. So we looked at it. Okay, we're going to have, an environment where, for example, you are living in the apartment, but there's also a lounge downstairs where you can easily meet up with friends instead of them coming into your room or meet some business partners. It's still your place. Or that would even have a co-working space, a mini co-working space. You are working in the midnight and then you want to come, you have a lot to do, but you don't want to disturb probably your spouse, or you want a place that will keep you awake. Then you come down to the working space, 24 hours working. Right? Okay, a playground for kids, sports complex, 24 hours mini mat, just things that will just make your life easier. Things that will make your life easier. Right? So when you can see that this actually is not like these things exist yet, but it's the potential. Now the question is, that's how they talk. Oh, how many people have promised that they didn't do anything? Oh, what's that? What's the other objection? Oh, all these real estate guys, that's what they say. Oh, where will you even get the money to develop it? Oh, where is the money in this Nigeria? Valid concern. Valid concern. But probably they said more than that when Trump was trying to build the first Trump Tower. Oh, they're not going to give him the tax break he was looking for. No bank is going to finance that project. Oh, no, he's not going to get the money to do it. Oh, he's just going to roll on his father and just whatever do it. But at the end of the day, he became the hero. So it takes someone who can actually see the potential and turn deaf ears to all the negative comments, all the negative concerns, all the negative criticism, to actually say, you know what, I see this thing and I know what this thing can be, and I'm going to, with my last drop of sweat and blood, I'm going to see that this thing exists. These things come up. And as you are going to it and you are facing the challenges, you are pivoting, you are learning, you are relearning, you are unlearning, you are leveraging and all those things. Put me in charge and I'll solve the problems. Now, how do you recognize market potential? Right? How do you recognize market potential? One of the things you need to first understand is timing. It's timing. There are some potentials that you see that are not yet ripe. Probably because people don't even know they need it yet. There are sometimes people don't know they need it yet, and you introduce it and they can now see and then they accept it. But there are times actually that the market is just not ripe for that. There's a particular firm that tried to create a mobile phone. A minute, please. There was a particular firm. I'm trying to remember. Not Nokia. There was a particular firm. I think it was Grand something. You see, all of them came together just because they wanted to actually build something. Oh, I can't remember. I think it's Grand something, but I don't think it's Grandmaster. I'm trying to just remember, but it's not here. I'm trying to get. There's a documentary on it I watched. I've forgotten. Today, most of the CEOs is celebrated today. Most of them. CEO of LinkedIn, CEO of Zoom, CEO of name it. The CTO of Google, the CTO of Microsoft, all of them actually came together as at then to create a particular mobile phone. It failed. Imagine all of them coming together to actually work together on something, and it failed. And today, all of them are now working individually on billion-dollar startups. Billion-dollar startups. Right, I can remember they got some financing from Apple at that particular point in time, just a whole lot of, issues. Right? But we need to understand that there's something called timing. So you want to observe. What's the time saying? Are people actually looking for this thing? Will this thing actually, be needed? Will it be wanted? Will people be willing to pay for it at this time? Will people want to adopt it at this time? And to be honest, sometimes you never know. That's just the honest truth. Sometimes you just will never know whether it's the right time or not. And sometimes you try, you discover it's not the right time. Sometimes you try, you hit jackpot. But try anyway. Second criteria you need to understand to know if market potential is the size. You are seeing a sign of something good coming up out of here. But what's the size? For example, we are hoping to build a chain of that Adesina Park series for young professionals across Nigeria. So the question is, what's the size of what we can build? Nigerian youth contribute up to 60% of the Nigerian population. But how many of those youth are gainfully employed that can afford to, maybe not even buy, maybe rent? Right? We know some people would buy to let out. But many people can actually afford, because the fact that we are putting together all these amenities to help them to thrive with ease, meaning it might end up being pricey. You don't run away from price if you're offering value. So you need to check the market size. How big is the market? How big can this thing grow? And it doesn't even have to be limited to Nigeria. Can we extend it to Ghana, to Kenya, to South Africa, to other African countries? Right? Because the African youth population is growing. So you need to check the market size also. What's the potential of this market like? Right? Question. These people you are trying to create something for, can they afford to pay for it? Business ideas, it can be charitable. Well, not let me call it business ideas. Some ideas you might have might be charitable ideas, not business ideas. That is ideas you do for charity, not you do for business. For example, I used to have a very, very silly idea when I was still young. That two ideas actually. Is it two or three actually? The first one, I want to have a bank that anybody can walk into anytime and take money. And I was very serious with it. Second idea, I want to have a restaurant that anybody can walk into anytime and eat without paying. You are hungry, just walk in. Third one, I don't want to see anybody homeless. I want to build multiple houses that you just come and live there. So when you have money, you pay, or you live there when you're still looking for a job. It was just some silly, very, very silly ideas. That, okay, you don't have money this month, don't worry. Go and work. When you get money, you come and pay. Just live. Just don't be homeless. It was when as I grew, I discovered, okay, that's a charity idea. Just go and open Operation Feed 500 people every month. And that one, you'll be doing a CSR. But you want to do business, those people must be able to exchange the value for the value you're giving them. So when you're taking a market potential, you want to check, are people willing to pay for this? Will people be willing to pay for this? And are they able, not even willingness. You can, if I bring a Maybach here now and I tell you, oh, if you have 500 million, will you pay for it? You say, yes, you are willing. But are you able? Do you have the money? So it's not even about willing. Are they able? That's why I asked the question when I was talking about our Adesina Park project. That it's actually not just about the fact that we want to provide value for the young working class, right? But these people, how many percentage of them can actually afford to live in that kind of environment? Afford to pay to live in that kind of environment? That's very important. That's very, very important. Now, what are the steps to take when you are looking to actually leverage market potential? Number one, research and learning. See, I'm going to stay a while here because this is something that is missing in our investment journey. A lot of people, they've removed the research and learning from the investment journey. But why do you buy that land? Well, honestly, they can't tell. Or Max, they tell you, just buy land. Land always appreciates in value. The best investment on earth is it. Just because a particular broker said so. A particular broker that doesn't even have a plot of land and has been collecting commission. One of the things that first raised, I've always been a curious person, but one of the things that raised my curiosity the more was when I was working with some group of brokers, and then we were working with a particular firm, and they were giving these guys discounts to acquire the property. Yet they were not acquiring, and they were making sales and any commission. So he begs the question, if you know that this land is the future, you have the money, they've given you discount, they're allowing you to spread, why are you not paying for the land? Is it that you don't believe in what you're selling? How many brokers actually own what they're selling? How many? Research and learning. Don't just even I know you've seen a lot of my videos. I know you've seen a lot of my videos. You believe I know so much about investment. You're almost like you love me. I get it. I love you too. But don't take my words for it. Oh, Adesina Park is going to do this, going to do that. Young professional is going to live there. It's going to be a good rental income for investors. It's going to be a good apartment for young professionals. Don't take my word for it. Ask for the brokers. Check similar projects. Ask us some tough questions. Who are you partnering with to develop this stuff? Right? How are you guys raising the finance? When is your product construction timeline? Ask the question. Don't just take my word for it. Ask the questions. Ask the questions. Okay. How many young professionals actually live in this axis that are trying to build this your project? That's a question you should ask. How many of them are living in a house that, for example, maybe we are projecting that the rent will be 3 million naira per year. How many young professionals in Abuja are currently paying 3 million naira for rent? Get to know the figures so that you can at least tell, okay, if 5,000 people are paying 3 million. Okay, even if it's just 5 of them, they can be able to live here. Or 10 of them, 50 people can be able to. You can predict the figures. But you check, that people are paying 300,000 naira, 3 million naira for rent in Abuja. You can't tell. Or people that can pay that amount don't want to live in apartment, they want to live in duplexes. You need to get the figures right. You need to ask the question. Yes, we have done our research. We know that there's a market there. Ask us for the proof. How do you know? What gave you the go ahead? Because investment is figures. It's not quotes. It's figures. Yes, sometimes you can't even, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes, honestly, you just know that there's a market here. But honestly, you don't have the perfect figure yet. For example, 7 years, Facebook did not make a dime. 7 years. 7 good years. They didn't make a kobo. But he was still saying this is a good business, this is a business. But year 1, no money. Year 2, year 3, and investors were still putting money there. But today, the story is different. So I'm not saying you're always going to have all your, and that's why investment involves risk. So the place where you cannot get all the facts and figures right, you now want to check, okay, what am I risking? If I end up buying this apartment and then I can't rent it out, okay, what's the resale value going to be? You need to weigh your risk. Someone said something I really like. He said, to get rich, you take risk. To stay rich, you manage risk. Very important. Because at the point of you wanting to get rich, you don't really have much to lose. So you can take risk. But when you're already wealthy, you're already rich, now you have something to lose. So you manage the risk because you don't want to go back to square one. So research and learning. Ask questions. By yourself, go online, do research, press the laptop. Ask questions. Oh, you want to invest in a particular area? Just go online, find agents, brokers, the one that have sense in that particular area. Just get on conversation with them. Oh, I want to list a particular house with you. It's a 2-bedroom, that's this and this and how much do you think I should put it up for rent? Ask them questions. Ask them. Ask them questions. Do your own research. Do your underground research. Right? I love what a man did. Wanted to invest with us. I gave him our office address and all those things. He didn't say he was going to come. He didn't say anything. I was in the office and just got a call. Someone was, who is the person? Come upstairs. Said he just wanted to confirm that truly there's an office there. There's no harm in doing that. You're not in the city. Send someone there. You have someone that is around there. Send someone to go and check. Do virtual tour. Oh, you'll be in the office tomorrow, right? Okay, yes. Can we do a virtual tour of your office? Can we do a virtual? They can't. It's video call. Oh yeah, put it up. Let me be seen. Oh, show me. So, okay. I can see your sample. Okay, I can. And do it in a time that is very, very is tight. For example, you want to do it tomorrow. Ask them today, so they can go and quickly get there. And ask them probably like towards closing hours. I'm a developer, and I'm giving you all this insight. Before you invest, also get a lawyer. Someone wanted to invest and I was like, will I need a lawyer? I said that should not even be a question. It should not be a question. Get a lawyer. Get an advisor. I get the fact that these people are even scarce, right? And, I'm really glad that you can actually even trust us to do some things. But I'm also glad when you can actually ask some questions also, right? One of the things I tell people is that the most valuable asset of any financial institution is trust. It's trust. Our people will invest with us and it will be as if they've forgotten that they've invested with us. That kind of trust is something I wake up every day praying to God never to betray. You can just imagine. I've said the story of a man that we had to be calling him, sir, your details, let's get you your receipt. He was not responding. That level of trust, no, you cherish it. You cherish it. And we have advisors. Apart from in-house legal, we still have a legal consultant who can say, hey, we don't know what you are doing, or we don't know what you are doing. Come and answer, why is this project here? External person, who checkmate us, who don't have a stake in the business, who just look at you, your land that you got that you say you are developing is all this time, I'm not seeing anything yet. Advise us. Very soon, we are going to be bringing a guest to this AfriProsperity series, and it's just going to be a whole lot of people associating with us. But that won't come cheaply. That will come there too. Before they come and show on someone's show, they want to check, okay, who is he? Who are these guys? Research and learning. Number 2, partnership and leverage. Some opportunities you would see, some potentials you will see. Honestly, you can't do it alone. In fact, most of them you can't. Because number 1, when you get to the stage of research and learning, you might not have all the knowledge. So you might need to find someone who have the knowledge. You might have the knowledge and not have the know-how. So you might need to find someone who have the know-how. You might have the knowledge, the know-how, and not have the financing. You might need to find someone who have the financing. So you need to start thinking, how do I partner? How do I leverage someone's strength? How do I leverage someone's resources? You need to understand that. Leveraging partnerships. Right? You need to be open to learning. You need to be open to partnership. I tell people, you can't be, yes, you need to be cautious about how you share your ideas, but it's still ideas. It's not that valuable yet. Don't be too scared to share your ideas that the idea end up becoming nothing in your own hands too. You are seeing a potential. Find someone you can. You might not end up sharing it in full, but you can share it in bits. Oh, let's do this together. Oh, I have something I would like to bring you up on. Would you be open to do something like this? Just wisdom, just tips. Right? But partnerships and leverage are very, very important. Know your strengths, know your own weakness. So that your weakness is where you now find other people's strength. Surround yourself with strength. You are a filmmaker. You know you don't really understand business. Get a business person. You've replaced your weakness with a strength. Get a business person. Oh, you probably understand business. You know how to go and look for the business. You understand but you don't understand the skill, but you know that there's money there. Find someone who is good with it. Partner. You may understand the skill. Understand the business, but might not understand what's it called now. Probably the finance. Okay, the business is the financing. You understand the skill, you understand the business, but actually you might not understand operation and administration. Find someone who can actually help you manage that. So you have a person who can actually help you get the business. You understand how to deliver on the product or the service, but you don't know how to coordinate your team, your staff, your everybody. Get an admin person. Know how to leverage, know how to partner. For example, you want to invest in a particular property. The property costs 50 million naira. You have 10 million naira. 5 people. Simple. Oh, you have 50 million naira. But you know that instead of buying maybe one unit costs 50 million naira. But if you're able to buy 5 units at off plan, maybe the developer will give you 10 million naira discount. That means you buy 5 units at 200 million naira instead of 250 million naira. Right? You have 40 million naira. Why not find extra people with 40 million naira? Acquired property. Do you know how much you've saved? Not just the 10 million naira on your own, but you are now going to be getting multiplier effects. Instead of getting 1 unit, partner and get 3 units, partner and get 5 units. Instead of waiting to go and be doing one long spread payment on a particular property why don't you just partner to acquire 1 unit? Partnerships, leverage. If you can truly see that there's a potential here, go all in. Partner to go all in. I'll just give an example that most people that got rich from one thing, and then from that overflow, from that cash flow, from that particular one thing, they now start investing in several other things. So when you see their diversified portfolio, it's actually an overview of their investment over a period of time. It was not a 1 month spread. 1 month, I have 1 million naira. Okay, 2 million in Bitcoin. Buy a plot of land here. Buy assets, buy UBA, buy Dangote shares. What else? What else? What else? Okay. Something forex. Let me trade this one. What else? What else? And let me put this one in fish farming. You're just gambling. If this one no work, this one will work. If this one no work, this one will work. You're gambling. That means you don't even know what is what. Because you can't tell me you know crypto authoritatively, you know forex authoritatively, you know real estate authoritatively. It's impossible. You can't. But you can go all in your fish farming, and from the overflow start buying properties. You can go all in on properties, from the overflow start acquiring businesses. You see that? Partnerships, leverage. Number 3, risk and reward. Risk and reward. You see, I think I've flogged this one. When it comes to actually leveraging potential, it's risky. Because you're not even sure it's going to perform. You're not sure. So what if it doesn't? What if it doesn't? But guess what? If you end up doing it also, a lot of people would have been discouraged from doing it because of the same risk you saw, but still went ahead with it. So by the time you get the reward, everybody will be looking at you like a magician. There's this analogy I gave to someone recently. I said, look at what Transcorp Power and Geregu is doing for the power sector now. In the next decade, when this guy become the men behind the Nigerian power sector, don't say it was political influence, it was favoritism, it was this, it was... Now you have the chance. What I want to say is, I can't say what I want to say, to be like recommendation. But now is the time to also put your eyes on the ground and find a way to contribute to that value offering. Did you get what I just said? Now is the time for you to look at what are these guys doing with the power sector. Acquiring new stuff, expanding this and this partnership, this and this here and there. Do you see what Geregu's share is doing? Put your eyes on the ground. What can you also contribute value to? It doesn't mean it will end up going as we are anticipating. If it doesn't, that's why it's risky. If it did, you get the reward for taking the risk. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Risk and reward. What if when they started all these fintech stuffs and people were so adamant they don't want to put their money on any app? Do you see how many news we get every day on OPE? These things has risk. Everything is risky. It's risky. But if you don't take the risk, you won't get the reward. If you don't take the risk, you won't get the reward. I could remember when I go into real estate, I was coming with backlogs of salaries unpaid from my digital agency. So all the first set of commissions and sales I made were to finance the the salaries of unpaid workers that I had. But I still going to start another company again. Does that mean that when I started, I was still not going to own salaries? But all thanks to God, over a year now and never owned a month of salary. You take the risk, you get the reward. It's not like the reward of this real estate is already here. If you know what I mean. But you take the risk, you get the reward. For example, when MTN decided to introduce Extra Cool, right? It was not like people were asking MTN that they want to be making calls in the midnight. But they just saw that between the hours of 12 a.m. and 4 a.m., it was a silent period. But they were still burning fuel. So how do you get people to still be buying recharge card and all those things? And it was not like this day that you can do Instagram Live, TikTok Live, and all those, you buy data. So nobody was doing anything then. So they introduced Extra Cool. What if people didn't want to call their lovers? What if people don't want to do anything in the midnight? What if all of us are witches? It was a risk, but it paid off. Paid off so much. Glo also introduced their own midnight clubs. It was a risk. Right? And when we even talk about partnerships and leverage, sometimes the things you are trying to do has already been done in developed climates. All you just need to do is localize it. Don't leave this ego of our idea is going to be revolutionary. Our idea is going to break. Nothing like you've seen before is a lie. We've seen it before. Calm down. Just localize it for us here. Just we get you. You are an entrepreneur. We get it. But they've done it. They've done it. Just like we'll build something. It's going to be even the eco-friendly, futuristic green homes you want to build. Someone has built it in some caves in Monaco. You are just doing it on a bigger scale. You are just putting it into your own context. So leverage what has already been done. Study it. How did they do it? And just leverage it. Just leverage it. Research and learning, partnerships and leverage, risk and reward. Risk and reward. I was reading about how Dangote introduced, got the contract to use these transport vehicles to actually distribute cement for the Nigerian government. According to the story, that was what led to his big break, right? But what if something went wrong on that deal? You could have been in prison. It's a risk. It's a risk, right? When we talk about leveraging market potential, leveraging the potential you are seeing, most times you are the only one seeing it. That real estate deal you want to buy 5 units of, that you believe people would come and rent it, or that you believe you'll be able to sell. Probably you are buying at pre-launch, and you believe you'll be able to sell at completion. You are the only one seeing that you might be the only one seeing that there's going to be a good demand there. I'm a developer. I tell you, sometimes you tell some clients some things, and the way they react, you're like, why can't you just see this opportunity? But they just can't see it. But you tell someone else, they're excited, they're like, cool, that's true. But you still have to just know that I'm seeing the signs, I'm seeing the handwriting on the wall. This thing is going to yield something profitable. Is that courage? Is that courage to say, I trust what I'm seeing, I trust the potential I'm seeing, and I'm going to contribute my resources, contribute my time, contribute my value to it. And taking that risk, you know that if everything goes well, you get the reward. When you now start getting the reward, they will now start giving a lot of formulas and rationale for how you made it. Oh, he has an uncle. Oh, it was the government. Oh, he has a bankroller. People will find formulas for you. But if we don't start taking, courage as African entrepreneurs, right, as African investors, we are not going to get anywhere in this mission for AfriProsperity. Because no one is going to build this continent for us. I just told you that for us as a company, as a developer, every day I see what we are doing as we are building our dream Nigeria, literally. That is, we want to live in an environment that can help us to thrive with ease. Let's build it. Oh, we need a commercial space that people will not be scared of burglary. People will not be scared of armed robbery. People would, it help them sell more. It will be in a good environment where people are comfortable shopping. Let's build it. We don't want to live in a place where there is access road. Let's build an estate there and grade the road. We will build the Nigeria we want to see. Literally. You're in Ghana. You're in South Africa. You're in Rwanda. You're in Kenya. You're in Togo. You're in Cote d'Ivoire. What are you complaining about? When you start taking responsibilities, stop looking at the challenge. Stop seeing the challenges alone. Look closer. There's a potential there. You don't have to start it on a big scale. On a small scale. Start however you can. There's a guy I saw, I've forgotten the country now, that he just noticed that number one, a lot of people eat coconut. Coconut is like a daily meal there. Secondly, there is a result of deforestation because people are using those trees for firewood. So he read about it. Now that's the link up to what I was saying, that whatever it is you want to do, someone is likely to already have been doing it. Discover that people are already making charcoal from coconut shell. So all those coconut shell that people would throw away, all the street vendors, he started going to pack it. Then he started making what's it called? Charcoal from coconut shell. That's him seeing a potential and actually leveraging it. What if it didn't work? That's a risk. Now he's partnering with a particular politician there to actually make it public and make it go nationwide. That's partnerships and leverage. But it took him months of research and learning to be able to now get, as they were talking about it, they got to a point, they said, so after mixing water, then they mix the secret ingredient. I said that's his own price for the learning. That's what he got as he was doing the learning. So it was like, this one is mine, I'm not sharing it. Learning. So I believe you've learned something this evening, or morning or afternoon, depending on what time you are watching this. And I believe that you would put this thing into practice. Right? Stop thinking small, stop thinking challenges, think potentials, think opportunities. Right? And for those of you interested in investing with us, we have an amazing project currently ongoing. It's called the Adesina Park. It's a 25-unit project, 2-bedroom apartment. Is going to be an amazing environment for young professionals, young couples to thrive with ease. And this is what we are currently developing, putting in all the necessary amenities. Right? We are going to start our sales event every Friday, 5 p.m. Venue and time is going to be communicated. Every Friday you can come there. There'll be free mocktails, free drinks, and then we get to discuss about the project. You get to get exclusive discounts, amazing offers, and all those things. Whether you are an investor or a broker, you're all welcome. To be an amazing time together. Thanks so much for joining. Once again, my name is Okoyemi Adesina, and I'm the founder and CEO of Adesina Assets Limited here in Abuja. See you again next week, Monday. Cheers.